feel you could suck some applause out of you guys if you walk out with pizzazz, giving notes backstage. A lot of spirit fingers. Be serious now. Accomplished actor, world-famous comedian, improvisational artist, award-winning recording artist, novelist, satirist, banjo aficionado, the man who said, "A day without sunshine is, night." Makes sense. He also was the man to say quite profoundly, "Boy, those French, they have a different word for everything." These are the makings of a Renaissance man, a genius, and a true comedy hero of mine, even though I'm not smart enough to say any of those things. Whether you know him as a wild and crazy guy or one of the best folk artists around, the point is, you guys know him. I think you guys know him, right? You guys know who I'm talking about? Well, here to present the Golden Eddie Award, please welcome Mr. Steve Martin.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Hi. Good evening. Good evening, and welcome to the Comedy Central Roast of Nancy Meyers. It would be easy for me to stand up here and sing the praises of Nancy Meyers, to discuss her great work, especially in relationship to the fine and profound art of editing. But this seems to be neither the time nor place. But I am honored to be standing among this group that represents one of the most essential of the film arts. Editing has saved many great films. Schindler's List, for example, when they edited out the Jerry Lewis scene. And I have starred with Nancy with several films, like Father of the Bride, Father of the Bride 2, It's Complicated, the list goes on. Actually, the list ends right there. But Nancy and I discussed making a third Father of the Bride, but we agreed that neither of us had the energy to deal with Martin Short. And right now, I guarantee you that Nancy is thinking how she would edit this speech down. But seriously, Nancy Meyers makes hits. She also writes hits, she directs hits, and produces hits. She micromanages hits. She suffers over hits and reinvests all her potential profits on hits. She has managed, in a world where comedy often equals vulgarity, to make humor personal, relevant, topical, adult, and smart. And in a world of green screen and CGI, like the blockbuster comedy The Martian, she makes movies about real people and creates some of the few American comedies that can play worldwide. When she writes a scene, it's a scene. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end. It's people talking about things that matter to them. It is relevant to the plot, and without exception, it moves the plot forward. On a Nancy Meyers DVD, there is no director's cut, because what the audience sees on the screen is the director's cut. She is also an editor's dream. Once I did what I thought was one of the finest takes of my life. And she said, "One more." And I said, "Why?" And she said, "The wine glass on the table got moved." And the next take again, I thought, this is the finest take of my life. And Nancy said, "Please stop proclaiming that after every take." But think of the films she's directed or written or produced: Private Benjamin, The Intern, What Women Want, Baby Boom, Something's Gotta Give, The Holiday, It's Complicated, Irreconcilable Differences. And she has worked with some of the greatest actors of all time. Let's take a look. Wow, what a great group. And here are several clips from some of her greatest films. What an amazing roster of films. Nancy, you've made me look so good in your films, and I appreciate your trust in my performances, and I never forget it is I who owe you the thanks. Now let's take a look, this time for real, at some of Nancy's greatest accomplishments.
No! Oh, God! Okay, you stay where you are.
Do you live here?
Look, mister, I am going to dial 911, and you are not going to move.
No, you don't understand.
Yes, I have an intruder in my house. Sagaponic.
I'm dating your daughter, Marin.
Oh! You're dating my daughter?
Now, who would have thought that would be worse news?
Excuse me, sir. Is green the only color these come in?
This will be.
Are you telling me that I inherited a baby from a cousin I haven't seen since 1954?
I assumed you understood the nature of my
Well, you
trip.
see, that's the funny thing. I can't have a baby because I have a 12:30 lunch meeting.
Don't forget to fasten your condom.
Dad?
Seatbelt. I meant seatbelt.
I'm gonna have a baby.
If your mom is my mom, and my dad is your dad, then you and I are like sisters. Hallie, we're like twins.
I hear what women think.
I'm a bitch, I'm a lover, I'm a child, I'm a mother, I'm a sinner, I'm a saint.
Hi. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, God, am I sorry.
Very normal. Neat freak, healthy, non-smoker.
Single. Hate my horrible life.
I'm Amanda. Loner, loser, and complicated wreck.
Home, sweet home.
Oh, God.
I'm having an affair.
What?
I am having an affair with Agnes Adler's husband. Turns out, I'm a bit of a slut.
Look and learn, boys, because this is what cool is. How in one generation have men gone from guys like Jack Nicholson and Harrison Ford to...
Oh, boy.
My love must be a kind of blind love. I can't see anyone but you.
You know, I can't decide if, oh God, if you hate me or if you're like the only person who ever really got me.
I don't hate you. That I've never really known how to live without you.
Yeah, that doesn't exactly answer my question. So, are you not with Sarah anymore? I mean, is that what you've come here to tell me?
I wish you could just accept knowing how confused I am about all this.
Okay, let me translate that. So, you are still engaged to be married?
Yes.
I am a tough, cold career woman.
I never thought I'd say this, literally never. Just put me out of my misery.
Mais tout plaisir se fait. Mais on dit c'est pas ça. Mais c'est pas possible, Jérôme.
Calm down.
Are you speaking French?
No, I'm just flipping out a little bit.
Let's just each get our bearings.
I don't want my bearings. I want to wear my sandals and I want to go out to lunch. I want to be normal again.
I'm so sorry. I'm sorry.
I was wrong.
These are for you to give me when to apologize. I love you. The heart attack was easy to get over. You were something else.
The best is yet to come, and babe, won't it be fine? The best is yet to come the day you're mine.
I am proud to introduce and give this honor to Miss Nancy Meyers.
Okay, some of you will understand that when I came to the rehearsal today, because I had never used a teleprompter, I had these glasses on. And then these are the ones I wear if I get dressed up, but I need these. Okay. Whew.
Is that in your way?
Okay. Thank you, Steve Martin. Can you believe this? You came here from New York just for this. Means so much to me. You know, on It's Complicated, I remember saying every morning on the set, you know, okay, so we're going to start with the master. And Steve would very politely lean over and whisper to me, you know, you really don't have to call me that. But the truth is, oh, sorry about that. I love you, Steve, because you are the master.
I'm not the master, but that's fine.
That's right. You have honestly made my life so much richer by knowing you. And of course, working with you. It's a really big deal to me that you're here tonight. Thank you so much.
I'm happy to be here.
And thank you to the American cinema editors. Oh, you know what? I forgot that, Sarah. I'm so honored to have been well, because that's nicer than looking at that. Can you go back so I can say it nicely?
I could just scroll this if you want me to scroll this.
Then I could put my other glasses back on. I am so honored to have been chosen to be the recipient of this wonderful award. It's very unusual for a woman in Hollywood to receive an award that doesn't have the word woman on it. So thank you so much for this recognition. I mean it. Thank you so much. I love editing, and I love editors, as this table knows. So that makes this night even sweeter for me. As you travel through the filmmaking process, you work with so many people, studio execs and producers and line producers. Alona Hertzberg right here, where is she? Who I love. ADs and DPs and production designers, costume designers, casting directors, actors. I respect them all. I love them. But after we do all that crazy long and impossibly hard work against all odds, when finally it all comes to an end, I find myself breathless and always for a very brief period of time at my optimum weight. And that is how I arrive in the cutting room. The place I dream of every night when I fall asleep while shooting. It's always the same feeling as I walk through the doors of the cutting room for the first time. It's like coming home. When the movie world shrinks away and it's all in the can, or whatever it is these days that you put it in, and you look your editor in the eye and you say, hi, I'm here. It's just frigging fantastic because it's just us now, and it's the best and most intimate collaboration that there is on a film. And whether it's me and Joe Hutching, or me and Bob Layton and Kevin Tent, I really am the happiest version of myself because sanity now reigns. And it's just us in the footage, and I find the process to be a glorious one. Since most of you in the audience are editors, you probably don't know what it's like to sit behind another person for months on end. I get to know every hair on my editor's head. But can you just hold the teleprompter for one sec, because I remember actually on the intern thinking, Bob needs a haircut. His hair had gotten so long. Anyway, he would have needed a day off, I suppose. Anyway, I get to know how they feel about a change just from their body language. But I also like to sit, at the Avid with my editor. I stake out a little corner for my notepad and my Arnold Palmer and all my Post-its. But still, even when I'm right there, we don't look at each other that much. We just stare at the same screen all day long. And you know what's great? When we hate the same take. You know what it means when he laughs at something I say? It's like the best thing in the world.
I was just laughing at something I thought of.
Oh, okay. I have no comeback whatsoever. If I don't stick to that, I'm screwed, so I have to do it. Anyway, so we do, and I guess I do love when we hate the same thing, and of course when we laugh at the same thing, and it's even better when we laugh at it on the 10th viewing, or get moved by the same moment in a performance. Soulmates are hard to find, but I have found them time and again in the cutting room. The cutting room and post has also been the location for some of my big real-life moments. I remember I was on the ADR stage with Goldie on Private Benjamin when I felt my first labor pain. And I was actually in the baby boom cutting room with the lovely and talented Lindsay Klingman, who's here. And I'm pretty sure she called Cedars and said I was coming. And my baby boom baby and my Private Benjamin baby, Annie and Hallie, are here tonight. Thank you, girls. You know how much I love you. So I worked with the brilliant Richie Marks on Father of the Bride. And Richie, with my ex-husband Charles Shire, who directed that beautiful movie, Richie shapes a scene with a writer's intuition, and he found the love and the humor in every frame. And then I worked with Steve Rotter on the first movie I directed, The Parent Trap, and my comfort level with Steve was incredible, and his patience was unending. He was encouraging and kind to me and talented, and I owe him an enormous amount. And he asked Carol Littleton to come join us on What Women Want, so I feel a very special connection to her, and the fact that we're both getting honored tonight is so nice. Then, a few films later, I met Joe Hutching, and his speed at actually cutting turned my head around. Joe was a wild man on the Avid, clicking and rolling that ball he uses instead of a mouse. He worked so fast, I don't think I got up to pee for 2 months. I was dazzled by his skill. I did 3 movies with Joe, and with each one, our differences benefited the movies, and our similarities were gratifying and joyful. I can't see any of my films that I did with Joe without remembering how much of what I'm looking at is because of him. Thank you, Joe. And then on The Intern, I worked with Bob Layton, a great guy, soft-spoken, British, clever, really funny, really smart. I loved and appreciated his ideas. And he also let me bring a treadmill into the cutting room so I didn't go nuts sitting for so long. And Bob and I ended each day the same way, looking at screenshots on the wall, realizing how far we'd come and how much was ahead of us. And one of us would always end up saying, yeah, we better work this weekend. We had great fun, and we were very simpatico. I'm so grateful to him for the beautiful, funny, and tender work he did on The Intern. And last but definitely not least, Mr. Kevin Tent came and helped us out for about 6 weeks. We called him, he's heard me say this before, Kevin, you don't need it, Tent. Bob and I would be working on something, we'd say, let's call Kevin in. And we would guess, would it be minutes or seconds, until he said, it's really good, guys, but you don't need it. And damn it, he was often pretty right. But Kevin's upbeat, optimistic point of view about the movie continually bolstered me, and I so appreciated his work. It was intuitive and fresh, and everything he worked on got better. I feel extremely lucky to have worked with the talented men and women I have sat behind and sat next to for the last 35 years. Thank you so much for this honor. That's it? Thank you.